Saints fans, get in the game on the Oakland Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870. Now, the founding father of the Houdat Nation, Bobby Hebert, and Christian Garrick on the Community Network. Bobby Hebert is the original, the founding father of the Houdat Nation. Miller Lite is the original, the founding father of light beer. Here's Bobby's Rant, brought to you by Miller Lite. It's Miller time.
And welcome into the Point After here on the Community Coffee New Orleans Saints Radio Network, along with Cajun Ken and Bobby Hebert. I'm Christian Garrick. Saints lose to the Bengals 30-26. Bobby, when you rushed for 228 and are +1 in the turnover margin, you should win the game, but there were other factors today that led to the Saints' loss.
Yeah, it was one of those games that it was so disheartening because at times it looks like, the Saints had put points on the board on the last 5 drives until right at the end. If you look, then you're selling the field goals, you're not getting touchdowns. That's bottom line is not winning football. But to tell you the truth, we have not had winning football against the Bengals. Not that we played a lot, but the Saints have played the Bengals 15 times. We won 7, now lost 8. And if you look at the record in the Superdome, there's no don't feel advantage. This is going back to the 70s. Last game Archie Manning won in a Saints uniform, and the Dome was against the Bengals. And, we've only won 2 times. We're like 2-5 in the Dome against the Cincinnati Bengals. So with that being said, I thought with all the players we had out, I kind of thought how it would end up, that we wouldn't take care of business. But we really were in control of the game when you think about it. I think more than even the offensive weapons, I think we missed Lattimore on defense than when you look at the wide receivers. Yeah, just look at the NFC South. What is the Tampa Bay loss? Who did they lose? The Steelers?
Yes.
And then the Falcons beat San Fran
by 14.
So all of a sudden, I was about to say, because I didn't think they were going to win, it was the NFC South turning to the NFC doubt. But the Saints are in the doubt part. Maybe the Falcons have turned the corner because they've been playing hard. And Tampa Bay, what they're dealing with now, Carolina, we about with the NFC doubt with the Carolina Panthers right now. I can tell you this. It's a short week, and we have to go to Arizona on Thursday night. He said, is it a must win? Well, we can't be 2-5. If we're 2-5, what that means? Okay, we got 17 games. That means to get, we'd have to go like 8-2 on the back end. When you're saying trying to realistically get in the playoff hunt. No, I thought, put it this way, I didn't think we'd win this game. I thought it would be an upset. But now we got to win on Thursday night against Arizona. So it'll be interesting to see who's available, who's not available. Now we haven't won back-to-back games in the Dome. And like Mickey Loomis said, well, you got to give something for the fans. You got to give them something to cheer about. They can't just be having the unbelievable home field advantage like you have at Arrowhead in Kansas City or all the great teams when their team's really rolling. Well, we haven't won back-to-back games in the Dome. You got to go back to COVID. November of 2020, the last time we've won back-to-back games. Now, Chris, like you said earlier, if you would have told me that we'd have 228 yards rushing, if you just told me that, I'd say, well, Christian, what was the turnover margin? And if you'd have told me, -1, -2, well, maybe we're moving the ball, we wouldn't have won. But if you'd have told me we had 228 yards rushing and we were +1, I'd go, hell yeah, the Saints won. Now, the reason why I would say that, because I don't know, this makes you pull your hair out and you can't sleep at night and have nightmares because this has not happened this season. The Saints were amongst the best in red zone offense and defense. Well, not today. Let me tell you. We came into the game red zone offense. We weren't in the National Football League, big enough sample size, handful of games. We were number 2. Not even top 10 or top. We were number 2, converting 80%. We were today 20%. We were 1 of 5. So we were all that. We were getting touchdowns in the red zone. Now, red zone defense, we were number 2 red zone defense. We were only giving up 33% touchdown that ratio. Well, today we gave up 100%. So right then, when the coaches break it down, they go, well, and this has not been a pattern because we led the NFL in red zone defense last year. We've been number 2.
Not to mention the Bengals went 60% on third down.
Oh, well, and we've been outstanding on third down. Christian, not good enough. I look. They were 6 of 10, 60%, and we were 8 of 17, which is big. That's 47%. That's good enough. And I have it where what we were ranked on third down. That's another area. We were outstanding amongst the NFL on third down defense. Yeah, only giving up like 29%. I got it here somewhere in my notes. Yeah, on third down defense, if you look at it, Christian, we were second in the league. Giving up right under 30%, and today they were at 60%. So just those areas, third down defense, red zone offense, which we excelled at. That was not the case. Considering all the players we had out with injuries, it's amazing we were. But you know what? In the NFL, so close doesn't mean jack. Either you won or you lost. We always say an ugly win because it started out like you'd won. We were setting the tone. Look, we got the turnover on special teams. But Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase was nothing special. But look how they finished the game. It was just unbelievable how we had the opportunity and could not close. This was very similar. If I'm looking and it wasn't the same time because it was later in the Giants game. You remember we were up by 11 points? Well, this is like well into the third quarter. We winning like by 9. It's 23-14. So it wasn't like, we got to play catch up and have this fourth quarter miracle to come back and win. No, it was a very discouraging loss because it was there for the taking. Now, I don't know, overall, they got that rough in the penalty on Demario Davis. To me, Joe Burrow's out of the pocket. He's holding it to the last minute. And to me, that's not necessarily a late hit. Maybe he was a little high with the hit. But to me, that's not a penalty. The quarterback is going to hold it. Well, you can't touch him. So to me, that rough and that was suspect. But overall, I kind of like the way they called the game. Both teams only threw 7 penalties. So
we like that.
Yes, they threw 3 against the Bengals and 4 against the Saints. So 30, 34 yards. I like that kind of game. Chris, we were able to hold the ball almost 5 minutes more.
They were at 71 offensive plays. The
yes, 71 to 54. 65, that's the measuring mark. And so, no, it was all and for us to take it. So when you break it down, it goes down to when you're moving the ball and you get in the red zone, you can't settle for field goals. You have to get touchdowns. Now, looking at on the offense, I thought Traquan bounced back. After he played like garbage last game against Seattle, dropping passes, I thought Traquan was outstanding. He was getting over now, only 3 targets, 3 receptions, 14.5-yard average, had a touchdown pass. Andy Dalton wasn't as efficient as he has been maybe, I think, in the previous games. But he didn't throw an interception. But it was just steady. It wasn't nothing, 162 yards passing. But when you're running like that, it doesn't matter. Look, Kamara averaged 5.2 yards a carry. Ingram, 5.1. We averaged almost 7 yards a carry. And you know what's crazy about that? We averaged almost 7 yards a carry and 228 yards. The Bengals were number 7 in the league coming in a run defense. They were giving up under 100 yards a game. We had that at the beginning of the game. So there's a lot of weird stuff that went down. We look at everything. Joe Mixon at times. I don't think we played well against the run. Right now, our defense is playing good at times. We need our defense to play great. And that was not the case.
That's where most of the stars are. And at least I know you were without Marshawn Lattimore, but you got a lot of money invested on that side of the football.
Yeah, and then I think we needed to get more consistent pass rush without blitzing against Joe Burrow. But like Joe Mixon, look, he averaged 5.5 yards a carry. The team, they only ran the ball 14 times with the average 5.5 yards. I thought Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, how they finished. I know their family members got to be proud of them. Defensively, I thought Demario Davis this is the game he was the most active. What we expect, led the team in tackles, 9 total, 7 assists. He had a couple of sacks, a couple of quarterback hurries, 2 tackles for loss. You know, you got to give you an honorable mention, a ball too, who played hard. And, we're talking about him, Caden Ellis. Caden Ellis had a sack, quarterback hurry, a tackle for loss. I thought that's what we need to expect out of Caden Ellis. So I thought he came ready to play.
Bobby Hebert, Christian Garrick, we're just getting started here on the point after. Saints lose 30-26 to the Cincinnati Bengals. Your calls are next here on the Community Coffee New Orleans Saints Radio Network.